You spend hours hunched over notes, highlighters streaked like neon scars, and 48 hours later the page might as well be blank. The knowledge vanished, leaving behind only the exhaustion of the effort. This cycle of cramming and forgetting is the universal frustration of modern learning. But in Japan, students quietly memorize over 2,000 intricate kanji characters, complex symbols that require deep, sustained retention, and still recall them a decade later. They do not possess superior intelligence. They possess a superior system. The difference is not genetics, not discipline, and definitely not magic. It is a 24-hour cycle that treats memory like a circadian business, with precise shifts for receiving, filing, and locking the doors at closing time. Western study methods treat the brain like a hard drive you can endlessly fill, leading to burnout and data corruption. The Japanese approach treats the brain like soil. It must be watered, warmed, and rested before any knowledge can take root. Copy the schedule, keep the science, and your brain will do the rest. Most learners believe studying starts when the book opens. Japanese high performers treat dawn as the loading dock, and the goal is preparing the soil before planting the first seed. The moment eyelids lift, the routine begins with light exposure. 10 minutes outside, a walk to the station, stretching near a window, or simply standing on a balcony gives the suprachiasmatic nucleus the sunrise signal it needs. This exposure to natural light, specifically the blue wavelength, immediately halts the production of melatonin and spikes cortisol to its daily peak. This hormonal shift is crucial because it sharpens memory encoding by up to 14% for the next 3 hours, a figure replicated in multiple chronobiology trials at Kyushu University. You do not need Mount Fuji in the background. Any patch of sky works. Step out, look up, let the brain clock reset. While the light sets the timer, gentle motion oils the gears. The second step is light exercise. The 2019 KO study tracked 2 groups. One sat straight to flashcards, the other cycled at 50 watts for 10 minutes before reviewing. The movers recalled 21% more vocabulary 48 hours later. This is due to the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF acts like fertilizer for the brain, promoting neurogenesis in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. The takeaway is that a brisk walk to the mailbox, climbing a flight of stairs, or 50 jumping jacks beside the bed pays more dividends than an extra 10 minutes of bleary rereading. Motion first, memory second? Now comes the most counterintuitive beat. Before adding a single new fact, pull old ones out. The brain strengthens whatever it retrieves, not what it passively absorbs. Japanese students open yesterday's notes, hide the text, and scribble every formula, date, or character they can muster from raw memory. This is active recall. Whatever feels shaky goes onto a sticky note. That sticky becomes today's first flashcard. The principle here is the testing effect, which shows that struggling to recall information strengthens the neural pathways far more than the illusion of competence created by passive rereading. Active recall in the morning boosts retention by 30% versus passive review, according to a 2020 meta-analysis of 93 classroom experiments. Fail early, fix early, remember forever. Light, motion, recall, 3 levers that take 60 seconds each. The final morning switch is silence, or the establishment of a micro-ritual. A 5-breath desk. Arranging ceremony tells the prefrontal cortex that this moment is capital I important. PET scans from Osaka University show a 27% jump in dopamine binding when learners proceed study with a repeatable micro-ceremony. This ritual does not require incense or elaborate steps. Aligning pencils, starting a timer, or sipping water in the same order every day is enough. This simple act of stillness converts ordinary minutes into memory VIP lounges by reducing cognitive load and signaling the transition from preparation to deep focus. With the brain primed and the knowledge soil ready, the sun climbs and the real planting begins. Japanese classrooms abandon the marathon model of study. Instead, they run 40-minute sprints followed by 10-minute parole. This structure is built around the brain's natural 90-minute ultradian rhythm. Attention oscillates by riding the crest of the 40-minute focus period and resting through the natural cognitive trough. The net knowledge absorbed per hour jumps dramatically. During the 10-minute pause, students stand, move, stare out the window, or engage in anything non-academic. ECAPS recorded at Rikyo High show hippocampal replay, the process of memory consolidation continuing actively through those idle minutes. The break feels unproductive, but it is the neural equivalent of a librarian reshelving returned books while the patron grabs coffee. This cycle is paired with the strategic use of time. Come afternoon, new material is introduced in 3 encounter waves, known as spaced repetition. Wave 1 happens today, Wave 2 48 hours later, Wave 3 1 week out. This spaced repetition lattice slashes forgetting by half compared with massed practice, where all study is crammed into one session. Japanese educators do not wait for software. They schedule revisit days on the calendar the moment a chapter ends. Steal the pattern, finish a lecture block, immediately slot micro-reviews 2 days and 7 days ahead. Utilizing free calendar apps to automate these reminders makes the complex math of spacing painless and reliable. Crucially, food matters more than flashcards at noon. A lunch that spikes glucose crashes cognition. Tokyo Metropolitan Schools replaced high glycemic white rice with brown and cut fried sides, producing a 12% average score bump on end-of-term kanji tests. The winning formula is slow carbohydrates paired with clean protein. Think salmon onigiri, edamame, and green tea. These foods maintain stable blood sugar levels, which keeps working memory online and prevents the post-lunch slump. Students are taught to eat until no longer hungry, not until full, and then walk for 5 minutes immediately afterward to blunt the insulin arc. Blood sugar stability is the foundation that keeps the afternoon learning block productive. By 3 o'clock, the brain's alertness naturally dips again. Instead of reaching for a third cup of coffee, Japanese students often utilize a technique known as square breathing or box breathing. They close their eyes for 60 seconds and trace a mental square, inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding empty for 4. This simple exercise directly stimulates the vagus nerve, increasing heart rate variability, flatlining cortisol, and allowing post-test accuracy to rebound 8% in controlled trials. Micro-mindfulness beats a third dose of caffeine and saves the evening wind down, preserving the quality of sleep that is vital for memory. Dusk signals a pivot from acquisition to curation. The school day ends, but books reopen for one final crucial pass. The rule is tiny but absolute: 10 minutes, no new input. Students shuffle homemade flashcards or scroll an Anki deck capped at 30 cards. This is not deep study, it is a final check-in. Anything recalled instantly is promoted to a longer interval. Anything hesitated on is rewritten onto a new card. This mini-review exploits the soon-to-arrive slow-wave sleep that cements synapses. Neuroimaging at Tohoku University shows a 25% jump in next-day recall when material is revisited within 3 hours of bedtime. The brain uses this recent activation as a priority list for nightly consolidation. Screens are the enemy of that fragile process. Blue light after 10 p.m. suppresses melatonin for up to 90 minutes, pushing deep sleep past midnight and erasing the night shift's gains. High performers enact a digital sunset, routers on timers, phones exiled to the kitchen, laptops draped with cloth. They replace doom scrolling with paper, manga, novels, or even yesterday's notes read under soft yellow light. The eye receives the proper spectrum, the pineal gland releases melatonin naturally, and the hippocampus begins its necessary nightly backup without interference. Bedtime itself becomes a Kaizen metric. Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous incremental improvement, is applied to sleep. Students set a micro-goal such as sleep 7 hours 20 minutes, wake at 6:10. Wearables track the number. If they miss the target, they adjust the wake time by 5 minutes the next night, never more. This dedication to consistency beats heroic all-nighters. Over 6 months, cumulative sleep debt predicts test variance better than IQ in the University of Tokyo dataset. Chase consistency, not hours, for sustained cognitive function. One last detail slips under most radars: the concept of MA, intentional emptiness. Before lights out, desks are cleared, pens capped, chairs pushed in. The physical void signals the brain that learning is complete, preventing rumination and the mental anxiety of unfinished tasks. In functional MRI studies, this shutdown ritual quiets the default mode network within 90 seconds. A tidy close to today is the most reliable opener for tomorrow. String the pieces together, and the successful 24-hour cycle looks like this. Morning light jumpstarts the clock. Light exercise primes BDNF, active recall yanks old files, and ritual tags the moment as vital. 40-minute work blocks ride ultradian waves, spaced repetitions weave the net, protein lunch steadies glucose, and square breath resets the afternoon. A 10-minute nightly review hands the data to slow-wave sleep, digital sunset guards melatonin, Kaizen sleep targets keep the ledger green, and Ma empties the slate. Follow this protocol, and 24 hours later the same brain holds more, forgets less, and arrives ready for the next batch. The secret is structure, not strain. Start tomorrow. Wake, step outside, breathe once, and try to write yesterday's main point from memory. One loop completed, the rest will follow. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe and join us as we continue to explore high-performance systems from around the world.